Hi, crafters, and welcome to Finish It Friday, episode 158. So here's where we left off on Wednesday. We have a piece of cardstock that is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm looking over here to see if I have just a base card. Maybe we'll just use the one's card this time. We have a strip that is 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. We have a layer that's 4 by 5 1/4. Then we have 3 rectangles, 1 3/4 by 3, 1 3/4 by 3.5, and 2 3/4 by 1.5. Okay, do I need to come in a little bit more? That way, let me see if I can do this. Is that a little bit better for you guys? All right, you're not going to see my ruler then. We'll just go like that then. Excuse me. Sorry. Late night last night, staying up watching the Cubs. Yes, didn't need to stay up and watch them. They were ahead when I wanted to go to bed, but the Cubs. Had to make sure. All right, anyway. So what we're going to do is, I think for this one, we are going to go ahead and I'm going to put these two, I'm going to put them together. I'm going to attach them with seal. Now, since these are DSP, they will have a white core. So I think I'm going to go ahead, let me bring this over so I can get this lined up. So I think I'm going to go ahead and rip this, make sure that's up in the corner, get that little strip that I want on the side. Now let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rip this. I'm going to try to keep it pretty thin. That's going to show that white core, which I think is going to be a nice backdrop to that basic beige card base that we have. So let's go ahead. Now that I got around the corner, I'm going to put my thumb there so I don't go too deep in. Now when you go like that, you can try to go in and rip like that. I end up usually going from the other direction because sometimes it's hard to start where you just went off. Let me see if I can do this. It's getting thin. All right, so now I am going to have to try to do that from here. Probably should have gone in a little bit more from that edge, but we'll go ahead and leave that way. And you want to rip towards you so you get that white showing through. Yeah, this is about as bad as you guys watching me let something air dry. Yeah, I should have, I might be able to still, after I rip the bottom, I might be able to still move it a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and rip this bottom. Let's see. That might be enough of a, it might be enough. Let me go ahead, see if I can go ahead. I'm exhaling on where that, sorry if I'm too close to the microphone when I do that. I was exhaling on where that adhesive was, because your warm breath, you could also use a heat gun if you want to. That warm breath will sometimes re-moisten that so that you can lift it up and bring it back down. All right. The only thing is now it's not torn that way in the bottom, so I'm going to try to match it up as much as I can, but just bringing it over just a little bit more so you see a little bit more there we go, of that side piece. Let me go ahead and put that on so you can see. Now coming back to this, I'm going to go up from the bottom. So I'm tearing away from me, but I'm still tearing up. That way you're going to get that white ripped line. All right, there we have that. Now we're going to go ahead and these, then I'm going to put this all the way over to this side. We're going to put these like that, and then we're going to layer this over. Now on this one, we could either, since it's dark, we could either use your white craft pad, or we could use some gold embossing powder. I think this is bronze, isn't it? Or copper? Yeah, that's copper. This is old too. Because now we have the WOW. But I didn't buy any of the WOW yet because I still had all of this old gold left from before when it was the Stampin' Up! Labeled embossing powder. So let's go ahead and, sorry, I was moving my chair. Sorry if that was loud. Let's see, do we have something in here? We're going to do that Autumn Wishes. Sorry, I have so much in there. So let's grab that Autumn Wishes. I don't know if that's clean or not. It looks kind of dirty. Let me clean it up just in case. So we're going into our clear embossing ink, the Versamark pad. Oh, first I should print that a little bit. Get my embossing little tray here and my embossing buddy. Huh, that's not the one that... Alright, so the Stampin' Up! One actually is blue, but I don't know where it is, so might be still with my class stuff. Remember, I did that 3-day class. Was it a week ago now? 2 weeks ago? So I think my Stampin' Up! Embossing buddy is probably still with that. Alright, so let's go ahead get that. Put that off to the side so we can clean it. Bring it up so you can see. All right, so let's go ahead. Let me grab from my side table, grab my Stampin' Up! Gun, my heat tool. It's not a gun, it's a heat tool. Start warming it up over here. Set that down for a sec. Just putting on this gold embossing powder. Take off this. This is from the embossing toolkit. You also get this. In the embossing toolkit, you get this you get the Embossing Buddy with that powder in it, and you get these tweezers. Alright, let me hold this up and see how it looks. Alright, so it looks pretty good. Since I put down that Embossing Buddy powder, I don't have any little scragglies. Oh, that's the other thing that comes with it. If you do a brush to help either get all of that back in, or to help if you have any stray embossing powder that shows up on your cardstock. Alright, let's go ahead again. Get my heat tool over here. Get a little bit heat up. We'll get it closer so you can see it as the magic happens. See how that turns from powder to that gold look. You don't want to over emboss it, because if you over emboss it, let me unplug my heat tool. I never like leaving my heat tool plugged in. If you over emboss it, it will dry it completely out. But there, and you do see that I did have some little residue left there. Since I did use the embossing powder, the Embossing Buddy, I am going to wipe off on this. That's why you want to make sure everything turned gold, because I want to get rid of that extra powder that was on your cardstock. Now we'll bring it up. All right, so let's go ahead. I want to leave those edges kind of the way that is. And I think I want to do it kind of just like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my removable tape. You can use any sort of masking or removable thing, because I kind of want to leave this in the same order. The way it is, I kind of like that composition, the way it's set up. So I'm going to remove this. I'm going to pick this up like this. And I'm going to bring out my green glue. So this is just your mono adhesive, Tombow adhesive, and I put it into a little glue bottle like this. I'm going to put that on wherever I see something peeking through. Gonna let it sit for a bit. See, I have a little bit there. Just gonna let that sit for one brief second. Make sure this is opened the right way. And I'm gonna bring this over, center that the way I wanted it to go. Before I take this repositional off, I'm going to put some glue down underneath there. And then I'll put, I didn't have enough glue on that to keep it down really great, but got the main of it. Now I didn't put, oh, that was already down. Alright, so there we have that. This is a little crooked, so let me go ahead before that glue completely sets. So you lift and you kind of pull upward and down. There we go. Get that more straight, or it appears to be straight. On this, we're going to pop this up. So I have my little dimensionals that I put that packing tape on, so it pulls up all of those backings. So this is sticky, ready to go. No little backings on your floor. Go ahead and bend that in half so I can get to those good. Let me get one there in the middle. Put that back away. So let's get this straight. And I'm going to go ahead and put that, I think we're in the center, a little bit down maybe, so I can see more of that pumpkin. I want to see both edges of that card. And then I'm going to use the Charming Shimmer Facet Dots. I gotta get online and see if these are still around, because they are an online exclusive. They're with a blue tag, so that tells me it's an online exclusive. So I have to see if they're still available. And that's why on my label, I also put the order number, so I can just quickly put it in on the Stampin' Up website, on my website, and see if it pulls up. If it says last chance, it means it's on the last chance and it's being retired. If nothing pulls up, it means it's gone. If it pulls up, it means it's still available. All right. Put a few little gems on there. All right. There we have your card for today. Now, in hindsight now, I would have probably have gone around it with like a background stamp. At this late stage of the game, you can take one of your daubers or your brushes that might have a little bit left. Just so it will kind of give definition to that background. So this is my brush I always have. This is, I think, Blackberry Bliss. I always have a little residue left on that brush. But you could use your finger dauber. You could take a little ink cube and go along the edge. But see how that just gives it a little bit of background now. I don't know if you can see. I put it against this. See how there's just a little bit of that Blackberry Bliss dirtying up the cardstock. You can see it better in person, but I think since I have my overhead lights on today, it's kind of washing it out a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and show you the other cards I did using this layout. So I have this where I did that strip straight down the middle. Got a little wild with this. I wanted it to really stand out, and so I used my Stamparatus that's retired and did multiple stampings on top, and then it just kind of, to me, although it made that ink very dark, it also kind of blurred it, in my opinion. So here we have these two, the 1 3/4 by 3 and 3 1/2 layered on top of one another. Then you have this one. This is from Cheerful Sips or Sips in, whatever it is. With the DSP, the strip is here. It's mostly covered up by this. In hindsight now, I would have torn this too, possibly, or done something with that edge just to make it a little less stark. Use that Wink of Stella on the ice cubes in that drink to kind of make it look more realistic in the glass. All right, there you have it, guys. there's your cards for episode 158. Go ahead, give me that thumbs up. You know you want to give me that thumbs up. Send me a message. Share on your social media. Most of all, have a great day. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.